Doc, look, I just want to get right into it. And I want to talk about, your weekend, too, because there's something pretty cool that was going on. But we've been talking about Will Vest. We've been talking about a Pinkie injury. With all that being said, it sounds scary. Spenny just told me they expect him to not be placed on IR. This sounds scary as a pitcher, not going to IR. What do you think, Doc? Your take?
First of all, it's like a pinky. Why would anybody be out for a pinky? Or the comparison is like a big toe, turf toe in football, right? How does that eliminate a guy from playing? But when you think about it, if he doesn't have that sensation in his fifth digit, his pinky, it throws you off. It could be the difference between a strike and a home run. So you have to have everything. As far as the anatomy of it, there's a bone in your palm, which is called trapezius, and the nerve will run through there. If he has compression on that, he will get that numbness and tingling and lose some sensation. So it doesn't sound like it's a true injury. I think it's more of a compression type of thing from a nerve, and he just has to get that sensation back. Because when you start talking about how every finger matters in throwing a baseball, the two finger split, all that. I'm not that great at every pitch, but the pinky plays a role if it's on the ball, if it's not on the ball, because your hand has to be tight around it. So if you're doing the two-finger fastball or two-seam fastball, that pinky still plays a role. And if you don't have that, it sounds silly. But the other thing is his rotation's every 5 days, correct?
Well, he's a closer.
Oh, he's the closer. Sorry.
Yeah. But you're here for the medical stuff,
right.
Not for the baseball stuff.
Well, I should know that, sorry.
No, but, as a closer, so, he's probably pitching 2 out of every 5 days, maybe 3, but an inning at a time, so.
Yeah, so somebody must have said if he's not going on IR, it's probably something that they're going to watch and see over the next 3 to 4 days to see if it resolves. Put some secret sauce in there. Get, am I good with the mic?
Yeah.
Get some rest to it. Get some therapy on it and see what happens over probably the next 48 hours. If it doesn't resolve in the next 48 hours to where they want, don't be heartbroken if he does get put on AR. I think right now it's in that wait and see. Let's see what's going to happen with some rest, some treatment, some awareness, and see if we can get this thing to pop back in the next 7 to 10 days.
What about overcompensation, Doc?
Well, it's truly what happens. You start pushing on your other 4 fingers and your forearm and your upper arm. So once that mechanics is going, you're going to start compensating with your elbow and your shoulder, which could lead to more problems.
How much concern? Is it a concern, or is it just something that, this is more of, it happens? What would you relate it to in a hockey injury or something?
Hockey doesn't have injuries like this. This is.
Well, is there a relation to, how concerned
No,
you are?
for a pitcher, if he was a regular player, I don't think he's coming out because of this. Because he's so in tune to how to throw the ball, the difference between every type of pitch there is, he's got that whole hand has to be in sync, and that's why it's more important. So hockey wise, no, it's gripping. If we did this with you guys, we would buddy tape your ring finger to your pinky finger and let you go play. That's how we would see it overall.
Absolutely.
Talking with Dr. Pierce here every Tuesday, Thursday on the afternoon show as well. But, Doc, no, it's just because I hear Pinkie and numbness and pitcher, certainly the high leverage guy that Will Vest is too, I get concerned. So that's it. And look, it's not a fair question to ask you because no one knows anything because nobody has said anything other than he's not expected to go on IR. But at the same time, I get concerned, Doc. So thank you.
He probably just didn't feel right around the ball. These guys are so in tune to their body, how they're feeling, where their pressure points are coming off of. I think it's just someone who's very in tune to his game, and he's not feeling right. And baseball pitchers are more sensitive to things like this.
So, Doc, the weather's warm, the people are out. Yeah. You have any good – because you're becoming Dr. Pickleball, right? You are transforming. You're Doc Rock, Dr. Pickleball, Dr. Pinky Finger, all of it. But Doc, without naming names, obviously, how are the pickleball players holding up right this summer so far, Doc? Any massive injuries or anything you've seen?
Yeah, like we said, I had my youngest player get an ACL about 9 months ago, Achilles tendon tears in an older individual. I mean, they're adding up, but also the numbers are adding up. And we got to give Mac credit for starting to call me Dr. Pickleball, so we'll see what sticks and doesn't stick.
I got a feeling that one's going to hang around, Doc.
Well, like I said, I was kind of dissing on it, but now looking at the numbers and the number of injuries, we got to start dealing with it. But no, I played the other day just casually with my kids, but it's hard. I mean, it's a hard game. It's fun. I do agree with some tennis lovers that I don't like the ping of the ball when you hit it.
I don't like the sound of it either.
Yeah, so look, it's taking off. It's the fastest growing sport with lacrosse. Now paddle's climbing too. Paddle's climbing because it's more like racquetball. It's more action to it.
But the pickleball thing, Doc, medical stuff aside, why? Why this takeover of it?
Well, because it's not exhausting. It's not a lot of movement. It's short movements, and you can play it a whole bunch. You can play it a whole bunch of levels, right? So they really targeted the elderly. This came from Europe, right? So the elderly are more active in Europe. It's coming here, and we think we're as active, but we're not. We're not as healthy in our older years as Europeans are, even though we have better medicine and better science.
We're not as healthy in our younger years.
Or our
That's
younger
fair.
years.
That's fair. Somebody asked a question. We got an Ask Doc in here.
All right.
What's your favorite secret sauce? You got to give it's your thing now, Doc. So you got to.
That's right. We got to really work on that brand.
Dr. Secret Sauce.
You know, a lot of people, if we're seriously asking, I know they really want to know, peptides are starting to really come into the mainframe. You know, the FDA's on it. The FDA's questioning it. They're worried about it. People are like, well, I just had a talk with with Dan Cleary, like about the peptides. And, you know, the FDA's coming down on it. It's not that they're coming down on it. They're worried about it's a moneymaker, right? You follow the dollar again. So with peptides, more people are getting into it. More labs are getting into it. So the purity of the peptides is dropping, right? So if you got when you get it, it's not like undercover or in the corners of the ghetto type of thing, but you got to be sure you're getting it from a good lab.
Well, tell me what, tell me who. What's a peptide?
What's a peptide?
Yeah.
Peptides are synthetics that were now they're injections. There's creams. There's injections. There's everything to help with energy.
That's what this secret sauce is officially called.
Yes.
The old peptide. All right, good to know.
No, I said peptides is only part of the secret sauce.
Okay.
So,
but an integral part.
No, I mean, I still believe in biologics and PRP and stem cell and exosomes and peptides and some other stuff.
You're talking to au naturel over here. So what are you talking?
That's right. We want more of the organic.
But
peptides are synthetic, reproduced products to mimic what we have in our body.
They're amino acids.
And they're amino acids.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
They're simple.
All right, Doc.
But it gets down to who's producing them.
Right.
Not everybody's created equal. There's some people in the industry. Like I ripped on PRP, platelet-rich plasma. There's people that I do it at the highest level, and there's guys that are doing it at the lowest concentrations possible. You have to do your research, and they're all
What's
charged.
Tom Mazaway doing right now? Is he on the PRP? Is he on the secret
he's
sauce?
He's flirting with it right now.
Is he? Okay.
He's flirting with it. He hasn't pulled the trigger yet.
I don't know why this just popped in my head. We should do like well, I guess HIPAA laws and stuff like that. But
well, no, if he agrees to it, HIPAA's aside.
We should have a weekly. It's his elbow, like
it's his elbow.
Bowling elbow.
His bowling elbow. Jesus, this should be a weekly thing.
Is he not on the IR?
Replace Hutchinson with Maz.
Lions have Hutch. Tigers got Vest now. We got Maz.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on brand.
It must be the city. Doc, you had a pretty busy weekend. We talked about Dr. Pickleball. Before we've talked about Doc Rock as well. You are a doctor to a lot of the music performers that come into town and things like that. Kid Rock. So you're out at the Kid Rock concert. this weekend.
Up in Hastings.
Let me ask you this. Kid Rock is
Lake
not a kid
Casino.
anymore. Obviously, he's 54 years old.
He's a grandpa.
But, yeah, Grandpa Rock, Kid Rock, whatever. No, but, Doc, he's a guy that, and look, as a performer, he's a guy that gets into it, right? Like, is he still moving around the stage? Like, probably not the way he was 20 years ago or 25 years ago, but he still brings a lot of juice to the performance, right?
No, he's looking better this year. We've had talks. I've been with him for a long time. I mean, Mac and I were backstage, and I don't even know how far back, late 90s.
Yeah, 20 years. 30,
You know, where it was, he was crazy. I mean, he'd jump off the piano, he'd jump off his stuff.
Yeah.
But the way he is really taken. I have to give him a lot of credit from staying fit, staying exercise. He's very in tune to his body. He has done things. He's the one that even started the beamer beds, the electrical current beds. He's the one that originated pickleball. He plays every day. He played basketball early in the morning. I mean, he is fit. He's in shape. He was bouncing around that stage. He was jumping up, both feet coming down. I mean, he looked, hats off to him. He's staying in shape. There was no medical needs for him this time. He's, we'll get phone calls once in a while, but, I was fortunate to be backstage and with the gang, but he was locked in. He was locked into his making this very successful.
I think it's the bottom line is that you can see it. It's in a different. It ain't the 90s or the 2000s anymore. Like, lifestyles changed, and one of the big things for Bob is how he feels. I mean, and doing all outside stuff and doing activities, and he's always doing something. I mean, there's a great picture of him, Chelly, and Lidstrom paddleboarding down the Detroit River back in the day. So he's always been active, but if he has to be, because I'll tell you this, Kid Rock show is as energetic and as live as it's going. You'll never see him sit there and just play unless he's behind the piano.
Last one, Doc. As the Doc, you see, these, whether it's Kid Rock or some of the big time Shakira, like, yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Take it easy, everybody. Okay, take it easy. No, but Doc, you're ever there, like, in your doctor capacity, and they get out there on the stage and they're doing something, you're like, oh no. You ever have those moments?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Especially after, like, Seal was the big one.
Really?
Seal at the Fox. He was a big anti-pickleballer, and I'll tell that story at a different time.
Okay.
But he was struggling to get on, and he's jumping off stage into the audience and walking through the audience on the chairs, right, on the chair handles. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? We just fixed you. And he looks over at to me and just gives me thumbs up. I'm like, all right, I guess we'll take that as a positive. But no, and then there's people that do some crazy stuff. We get dehydration. People don't realize that the entertainers are athletes. We kind of coined that also. But think about it. If you're on a treadmill running, these guys are running around. Think if you could sing and hit a note. Right. Type of thing.
No, it is. They're all in, man. The greats are all in.
When you get Pine Knob, middle of July, middle of August, you're sweating. You're losing 3 to 5 pounds. These guys are getting dehydrated, and they think just a little bit of water. We've changed a lot of these guys to the electrolytes, the waters. We have blowers. Like, you think, like, Beyonce's the king of blower, the hair blowing thing. Yeah. But we have them now just for functional, so it keeps them calm. When you get a packed Pine Knob with it's the warm, heat, yeah. with them, humidity. Dressing, they're sweating their butts off.
I will say this, Doc. Like, when I got turned on to hydration, probably about, like, proper hydration. You know what I'm saying? Like, preparatory hydration. It changes a lot, man. You're surprised how much more you can do in the gym, running, performing, like whatever it is you're doing. What's the percentage of people that probably properly hydrate just in life?
10%.
Bingo.
But the thing is, like, our young youth, like, we just had DCD, Detroit Country Day women's lacrosse. We were involved because of my son's girlfriend, and it was a hot day, and she's a rock star player, but she tends not to hydrate. So she tends to fall off in the fourth. You got to realize, for all those young athletes, you want to play to the end of the game, where the most important part of the game is.
When you're at
you
your
got to
best,
make sure you have a proper hydration through there, because you don't realize how much. it's the simple thing is 8 ounces of every 20 minutes of exercises type of thing. I got to double check that.
Yeah.
But it's about 8 ounces for every 20 minutes of active activity that you should be drinking.
No, and people, and this applies. I believe this to everyday life. If you work at a desk or whatever, if you took your hydration seriously, you would perform better. Even whatever job you do, you would perform
Right.
better.
It's feeding the system. It's just like when you starve with this intermittent fasting, it's depleting you. You may be doing one positive, but overall, I don't think it's a positive. I'm not anti-intermittent fasting, but I'm kind of anti-intermittent fasting. It's your brain. You get brain fog. I mean, there's everything. We can go on and on.
Doc, appreciate the time as always. I know we're on overtime. D-Mac and I have tea times. You understand, I'm sure.